Okay, so these are the tools that the installation script requires. Now, this crappy mouse. See if I can get this copied. So I might have to just do this totally manually. Let's see. Nope. Oops. And if you notice, I know on this particular style of laptop, because it hasn't been messed with and it only has one primary drive, that this works. You would have to modify this command line appropriately for your hardware. And most Linux distributions obviously have some sort of a partition manager that you can go in and poke around, or you can use command line, whatever you want, but you can look at the layout and figure out what their appropriate drive would be. In this case, it's SDA. Okay, so this is how Brunch OS installs. And you've probably seen similar screens on other Chrome OS derivatives. But the neat thing with this method, of course, is that once I have a Ventoy stick set up, I can add multiple Linux distributions, and I can update the Chrome OS bits, the Brunch OS, excuse me, without having to recreate another stick. Plus, a lot of times I'm running around just with stuff in my pockets. I don't like carrying a lot of stuff. I only want to carry 1 or 2 sticks. In the past, when I was more stationary, you know, I can have a whole box of sticks. But then again, then you have to label them or whatever. Ventoy, for me, for my working approach, is great because I can just dump a bunch of crap on one stick and it's always there. But the updating part is neat. And part of the reason why I'm so random is I just never know exactly what type of hardware I'll be dealing with, or operating systems, or anything. And I've, just for my own sanity, I just kind of go with the flow, and I've learned to always seek out the path of least resistance. I've learned the hard way that if I'm fighting things, I can end up just having zero work-life balance. If I've committed to getting something done in a certain amount of time, it can just really grind you down if you don't constantly try and simplify things. But that's just me. And this is boring as fuck. I just wanted to do a quick overview so you can kind of get an idea, you know, how long it takes. And this is a reasonably fast laptop. SSD drive, it's an i5 6200 CPU. This is about the oldest hardware that Brunch OS currently supports. I mean, you might have luck choosing different recovery environments and different driver packs and such. I'm not even using the right terminology because I've been jumping around on all these operating systems. But your best luck, of course, is just to try and follow along with the supported hardware that's mentioned on the Brunch OS project page. The other operating systems that you can fall back to, of course, Google Flex OS. Try Brunch OS if you've got hardware that's just a little outside of what is officially supported on Brunch OS. You might just want to go ahead and install Google Flex OS. It's crazy compatible with just an insane amount of hardware. Again, depends on your use case and, you know, Do you have a bunch of machines that you just have to have Android app support on it? And then if you want to, there's a lot of other operating systems that you can play with. For me right now, not wanting to spend a lot of time, it's Brunch OS or Flex OS. You're never going to get enough time, but all of it is fun. So, I mean, if you're just trying, and I get it. I mean, maybe you have a machine that you're personally attached to. I mean, us nerds get that way, and you just kind of want to keep playing with it as long as possible. Okay, so here we go. Now what we need to do is give it the reboot. I'll go ahead and show you about how long it takes to come up for the initial boot, and then I think I have rambled on, even for me, in a crazy amount. And you know what? I'm going to disconnect all the external stuff just to keep it simple. Now, obviously, if you're doing a bunch of machines, you would need multiple thumb drives. I'm usually spending more time building the tool sets and not doing the bulk of the repetitious stuff. And then again, that depends on your workflow. I mean, you can certainly just continuously throughout your day do one at a time or two at a time and not have to worry about a bunch of thumb drives. Or if you want to do it in batch, it's not that hard to set up, 10 to 20 Ventoy sticks. I've worked in lab environments where I've done similar operations, not with the open source stuff, but flattening and installing operating systems on an insane amount of devices. There's a lot of flexibility on how you choose to approach that kind of work. All right, so here you go. At this point, it's no different than any other Chromebook, and that gives you an idea. There are so many people that put a lot more effort into their videos with the proper equipment and actually take the time to script out what they're going to say and make edits and do a better job speaking fluently and going slow. I apologize for my shortcomings. This is right currently with my life about the most time I can put into this. Maybe someday I'll be in a situation where I can approach this more professionally, but for now, it is what it is. And I hope maybe this helped you or gave you something to look at. You're curious what it looks like to do this. So there you go.